All right, so I've taken, nope, let's not stumble over our first 4 words. What's up, everybody? Rukus here. The rationing system in Last Day on Earth just changed, so I'm here to give you an in-depth analysis. Alright, so if you guys watched my last video on ready meals in Sector 7, basically what I've done on the spreadsheet that you see over here is just copied over the first few rows. So we're going to do a few changes to this before we get in and start doing our own calculations. Obviously, we're not going to need tickets or tournament points because those aren't things on this side of the wall. So we can delete those 2 columns. And then for everything else, we'll just come over here and clear it, and we'll make whatever changes that we need to make along the way before we start to figure out which resources are the best for what reasons. All right, so on our spreadsheet, we start with the stone zone. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So these still are 2 rations each. So we're going to do this 4 times and take down our calculations. And we're even getting, we're getting some season items as well. So we won't include this because after 3 or 4 weeks, that would not really make a difference. So let's get this. All right, so we have 40 stone, 7 ore, 14 plant fibers, 5 berries. We have 6 rope. That to rope there. 2 hides. I'll change that to and then 2 meat. And then I think everything else after that is going to be random after the meat. So we're getting 2 bolts. What are these things even called? Two wiring and 3 canned food. All right. So let's do that 3 more times and then we'll take our averages. Okay, so what I'm gathering from this is that you're guaranteed to get all of, well, hold on. I want to, there we go. You're guaranteed to get, dang it, I can't work. There, you're guaranteed to get all of these resources and then either rope or cloth. It doesn't look like you ever get both. It looks like you get either one or the other. And then you're also guaranteed to get hides and meat in some form as well. Everything else does appear to be kind of random. I'll update the formatting as we go along after we get the averages taken care of. Okay, so to do the averages, we're just gonna do equals average. See, look, it's already, no, it had it. There we go, equals the average there, boom, enter, all right. And then we can pretty much just drag this along the whole way, like so. Maybe actually, hold on, because I think bolts aren't going to be, yeah, I'm thinking the bolts aren't going to count in this, so we probably won't take, yeah, well, what the heck. Let's just take it all the way across from now and see what we get out of that. So let's see if the yellow zone is going to be any different. I assume it'll be mostly the same. All right, so we got 3 rations apiece here. And yeah, so it looks almost exactly the same, except we are getting seeds on this one. Let's see if that's going to recur. All right, so we got 55, 11, 17. We need to add seeds. So let's insert. All right, berries were 12. Let's. And then again, so we're not getting rope, but we are getting cloth. Another funny thing about that too was that it was every other one. So that's maybe something to look out for. See if every other time you ration, one time you get cloth, the other time you get rope. I am very curious. Right, glue, there's 1. Canned food was 3. All right, let's do this 3 more times, and then we'll jump back over to the spreadsheet and get our averages. No canned food, but we did get a bandage that time. So maybe that's another either or. Either you get canned food or you get bandages. All right. So now here we can do our averages again. If we do equals, average, yes. And then slide this over all the way. Now let's move on to the red zone. All right. So we're going, yeah, these numbers are definitely bigger. 67, 31. Oh, and we're getting bauxite now. So we need to add a row. Insert 1 row here for bauxite. So you can make some aluminium. All right, so there's 8 there. Oh, interesting, no plant fibers. No seeds, no berries. Very interesting. We're getting 8 cloth. 4, 8. We gotta find, where's our bandages? We're getting 3. That's not a 3, that's a 3. We got 3 bolts. We have 4 wiring, no canned food. So again, we get bandages and no canned food. 1 SIGs, and we're getting 2 duct tape. So we need to add another column for, we'll just call it tape, because we got 2 of those. All right. 3 more times. Oh, interesting. So we're not getting raw meat, but we are getting turkeys. Oh, interesting. All right. So now let's go in and do the same thing. We need to get our averages. Let's come back over there. Yeah, so the interesting takeaway there is that there's no fibers, no seeds, and no berries on the red zones. All right, so all of the averages, again, we see them go up. We didn't have bauxite before. Let's do the same thing over in the forest zones. All right, starting with the green. Actually, you know what I need to do? Freeze. 1 row, boom. Yes, sir, there we go. That's gonna make this look so much better. All right. So, starting with the wood. All right. So it's 42. 14 stone. No bauxite. But plant fibers, we got 13. Seeds, 0. Berries, 9. Cloth, 3. 2 hides. And then the other stuff. So one interesting thing that I'm seeing here is that I'm getting 2 items, 2 seasonal items, and I'm wondering if that's intentional or if that was an oversight. I'm not sure. but it is definitely good to know. Equals. So let's keep the party rolling. So the main resources that we're looking for is going to be the wood, the stone, the fibers, the seeds. We're getting seeds now. 18 berries, 4 rope, 5 hides, and 5 meat. Those are the big takeaways there. On to the red zone. All right, so 5 rations. Oh, cool. So we are going to get oak out of this. So we're going to need to add a row for oak as well. All right, so 86, whoops, 86 and 3. No stone, where we were getting stone on the other wood zones. We're not getting stone on this one. We are getting plant fibers, no seeds, no berries. Interesting. Rope, no cloth, and then hides and meat. All right, interesting. I'm really curious about this. All right, let's take some averages now. Boom, boom, boom. So the next thing we need to do is add in the oak and copper zones because those are going to be new. So let's add oak. Hello, oak. Boom. So we only have yellow. And how many is it? It's going to be 10. All right, so 10, 10, 10, 10. And then the red, I believe, is going to be 12. Oh, wait, we need to leave room for our average. Slide this dude down. I said slide this dude. All right, he doesn't want to slide. We'll just delete it. Red. All right, let's check it. Like I said, I believe it's 12. There we go. We've got there. And the red is, yes, it's 12. 12, 12, 12, 12. And then copper. We have yellow. And it is 12. Boop. Ah, I forgot average again. Average, which means all of this stuff needs to bump down real quick. Boom, boom. And then red is going to be 15. Yikes. All right, 15. All right. So I'm expecting some new things, so let's get to using these rations and let's see what we get. So we get 27 pine, 11 oak, 11 stone. We're getting bauxite. That's interesting. We get 6 bauxite. Let's see. No plant fibers, and no berries, but we are getting mushrooms. Let's add a row for mushrooms. All right, we got 6 mushrooms. No rope, but cloth. We get 5 meat, and then we're gonna add one more row for fox, or we'll just call it furs. Fox furs, we got 3. All right, let's do that 3 more times. Let's flip back over and let's do some calculations. Equals average of this. That's such an interesting contrast. If you look at, so you can have 10 or literally double that for the same, because we the low was 10, the high was 20, and the same for the mushrooms. We got 6 twice, but then we also got 12. Whoops, not sure what that did. So yeah, so just some interesting contrast there. Let's go into the red tones now. So for 12 rations, oh wow, big numbers there. 45 oak, are you serious? Bauxite's 12, 19 mushrooms, huge for 2 more rations. This is going to be a huge contrast for 2 more rations. This is what you're getting, double, triple. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I can't wait to see these graphs. This is going to look pretty ridiculous, I would imagine. Oh my gosh. No meat though. So we got no meat. We did get furs that I put on the wrong spot. There we go. Wow. Wow. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I just need to, like, I'll end up moving this, but we're gonna create this. We're gonna call it oak per ration, just because I just have to see. So this is gonna equal, well, really all we're just looking for like the averages, right? So we're gonna say equals the oak divided by that number there. And then compare that to, oh wait, so we have to do the averages. We have to do the calculations. Equals average of the set. Drag it over. Delete the guys that don't belong. All right, and then again, we're gonna go equals the oak divided by the ration. So it's triple. It's just shy of being triple the oak per ration. I had to do that one because I knew it was going to be ridiculous. I didn't know it was going to be that ridiculous though. Oh my gosh. That's nuts. Okay. Let's go back. That is just insane to me. That it's almost triple. Okay, let's go back before we dive too far into that rabbit hole. Let's jump into the copper zones. From the wooded foothills, we get 62 wood, no oak, no stone. But we get 11 bauxite. We need to add a row for copper ore. Insert 1 row for copper. And we got 7, and then jump over to, what are we jumping over to? 8 rope, we got 8 furs, and we got 2 meat. So we got our numbers. Let's jump in and do our averages now. Boom. All right, there it is. On to the red zone. So for 15 rations, let's see what we get. 88 wood, 15 and 15. Yeah, we'll skip the berries on this one. Cloth 6, furs 6, and no meat. Interesting. Let's take some averages again. Equals average of this. Boom. So that's it for all the basic resources. So now, just like what we did with the oak, I want to go through and do a few calculations based on some of the other numbers. So I want to do a pine per ration. So instead of calling this wood, we'll rename this to pine because that's what it is. We are going to need to add quite a few more rows, so let's get those rows. Yeah, let's just do here. So let's do, this is going to equal that number divided by that number. And this is going to equal, oh, did I not do, I didn't even do my average here. Derpy derp. All right, equals average of this. Boom. All right, now let's try it. Equals this number divided by this number. Interesting that it's about the same. All right, and then it's going to equal this number divided by this number. Whoa, it's so much less. That's a pretty big difference. That is so much less. Huh, okay, good to know that the red pine location's not worth rationing if you want to get wood. The other two locations, sure. Huh, good to know. All right, and then we can essentially do the same thing here. Will equal that number divided by this number. We're not expecting that to make sense, yeah, because that goes way down, wickedly down. We'll probably see like something similar here as well. A little higher, but definitely still not even remotely worth it. Equals that number divided by that number. Still higher, still not even worth it. Equals that number divided by this number. And yeah, just barely higher. Okay. So we got all the oak except for one, but I can promise you it's not going to be worth it. This number, yeah, divided by that number. Yeah, not even one, not even half a one. So sad, so sad. All right, now let's go back up and let's do stone. So we got equals that divided by that. So now let's go equals that divided by that. You know, I guess we could do, let's do iron while we're here as well. So with this information, then we can make graphs to compare. I just realized because of my head, you can't see those numbers right there. So now we can make graphs and compare. I will probably skip that part of the video and just show you the graphs. So I've taken the time to take all of the averages and then divide those averages by the number of rations, so we can start looking at how many resources do we get per ration in each specific zone. So we're starting with pine. It looks like the green and yellow pines we're getting about the same. We get a big drop when we go to the red pine, and then we are getting some when we go to the oak and copper zones, but not as many as what you would think. Looking at the oak, you do get just a little bit from the red pine zone, but we're also, if you want to look at, I mean, you're tripling going from the red pine to the yellow oak, and then almost tripling again going to the red oak. So if you're looking to use rations to get oak, I would definitely go to the red oak zone for that. Some of these graphs started to get a little weird with just random columns popping up, so you're going to have to ignore some of these zeros. I apologize. This next chart, this is going to be the stone per ration. So, and it's a steady decline. For the more rations that you're going to use, the less it's going to be worth your while. So we do get stone from, you know, the green, yellow, and red, obviously. You also get stone from the green pine and the yellow pine, but you don't get any from the red pine. So maybe it's a good thing that this guy snuck in there so you guys know that you actually don't get stone for the red pine, as well as the oak zones and the copper zones. You don't get any you don't get any stone as well. So it's a steady decline. The more rations that you use, the less stone per ration you're going to get. So if you're looking for stone, I would stick with the green zone. And then bauxite per ration, again, so we got some random dudes, just, you know, the green pine, the yellow pine, red, like the pine, they wanted to be apart. They were feeling left out. So surprisingly, the best one was the red stone, gave us the most bauxite per ration over the copper zones. I would have thought maybe the copper zones would give us more. It has to do, so numerically, we got more bauxite in those zones, but it's the sheer fact that you're using twice or more rations to get them. So when you break it down by the average bauxite per ration, the red stone zone is where you want to be at. And then looking at iron ore, there are only 3 zones that give you iron ore, and those are the stone zones. The green and yellow were exactly the same, and then the red stone gave us not quite double, but almost twice as much more. So the last resource that we broke down was looking at the copper ore, which you can only get from the yellow and red winter zones. So we're just calling them yellow and red copper. Not a huge discrepancy because you get less than 1 per ration for both zones. But statistically, if you're going to compare and contrast, you're up about 15-ish% on your yield for copper ore per ration on the red copper zone. So now that we've looked at that, there are a few other changes about rations that we're going to look at. There are 2 new zones that we can use rations on now, and those are the motel and the farm. So let's take a look. So the motel is going to be 10 rations, and we'll just take a look at some of the stuff we can get here. So we got a fishing rod. I got a fishing rod yesterday when I used rations just to see what would happen. So it looks like a fishing rod is going to be a pretty common thing. Roasted turkey, we're getting some paint and rubber. That's interesting. I didn't think that we would get a full thing of rubber from doing this. Let's try this one more time and just take a look again. So we're getting rubber, we're getting a lead pipe. One more time just to see rubber and a zip gun. All right, so very, very interesting stuff that we're getting. Almost a guaranteed time we're getting a full piece of rubber and some kind of weapon. We even got a roasted turkey, so that was cool. Now let's check out Crooked Creek. So this is for 15 rations. Okay, so for 15 rations, to get a steel plate, a cleaver, a copper bar, and a first aid kit, I'm not entirely sure that's worth it. The steel plate, though, definitely, that would be the one saving grace. Also, the cog looks pretty good on there as well. Let's try it one more time. Similar, very similar. Another copper bar, another steel plate, another first aid kit. one more time for good measure. All right, so it looks like you're guaranteed to get a steel plate, which is that'll save it right there. Oh, corn seeds. Was not expecting to see that on there. An aluminum bar, a scythe, and no first aid kit, but we did get 2 bandages there. Also, so they made changes to the to Bunker Alpha. So first, it's not 100 rations to do it the first time and 150 to do it the second time, because that was absolutely ridiculous and nobody was doing it. So they changed it. It's 15 rations to do it, and also it doesn't reset anything. So it doesn't say, oh, you did it once, so now Bunker Alpha is cleared, you know, on the first part, and then if you do it the second time, that clears it in hard mode. So now it's just you use it works similar to a resource zone. You use 15 rations, you get significantly less stuff, and it doesn't reset your bunker. So let's use our 15 rations. Let's see what we're getting. So we got 2 grenades. That's cool. First aid kit, some gas, and air filters if you need those. There you go. But for 15 rations, you know, you're wondering, is this really going to be worth it? Let's try it again. There we get a gun. So it looks like you're guaranteed to get a couple weapons. I'm kind of shocked I haven't seen any coupons. Let's try this one more time. Yeah, so there we get steel and 2 grenades. So it looks like grenades is what you're going to be getting out of this. We'll try it just one more time. So yeah, so every time out of this I've gotten grenades. So that's the thing to really look for if you're going to be using rations on the Alpha. Also, there were some first aid kits. They also changed Blackport PD. Again, it doesn't reset anything. It doesn't automatically clear it all for you. They lowered it to 15 rations. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we're getting here. Again, looking at grenades. If you're comparing to, because this is 15 as well as the bunker was 15, so we can kind of compare, you know, 1 grenade and 2 sergeant cards. Sergeant cards aren't particularly great. There we got a captain's card. So that starts to make it worth it a little bit there. We also get a grenade. Try it one more time. So a grenade again. So if I'm going to use 15 rations on something, I'm going to probably do Bunker Alpha, because it looked like I was guaranteed to get either 2 grenades or a grenade and a gun or something similar to that. As well as, you know, up here, we were guaranteed to get, on Crooked Creek Farm, we were guaranteed to get some kind of a, some kind of a weapon as well. But yeah, but for 15, I'm doing Bunker Alpha. All right, guys, that's everything for today's video. What do you guys think about rations? To you, are they worth buying? And if so, where do you think you're going to use them? Please let me know in the comments. And until next time, we will see you in the next video.